Welcome back to StalltoStart. Now let's get started. Now what we have here today is a Husqvarna 395xp. It's a chainsaw, and it had low compression of like 50 psi, which means it's the bad pistons. But I checked the pistons and everything like that, and the rings. They said they look all right. There's no scoring or anything really. And so I'm thinking it's the crankshaft bearing seals and all of the gaskets and everything. So I'm going to replace that. My friend stopped over last night, and we just tore all this whole thing apart, and I didn't really take that many good notes. So I have a screw right here, which I don't know where it goes to at the moment, and I do know that I'm missing another screw on for the spark plug, and whatever the spark plug wire, boo, blah blah blah. Anyways, so I just got the bearings in the mail, and I just wanted to point out the new shipment name for all my parts. It's so beautiful. Now let's get started. Alright, so what we got going on here is a ultrasonic cleaner. Sounds way worse than supersonic cleaner. Anyways, so I was determining the order, how I want to go about doing this with the parts that I want actually in the sonic cleaner. I know it's not a sonic cleaner, it's ultra. Anyways, so let's just do that for now on. I'm going to label it as a sonic cleaner, supersonic, because sonic. Anyways, so I'm going to make this, figure out which ones I want to go in here. So everything that's not plastic, pretty much, like the main bolts and everything like that and stuff like that. And that one's not plastic. And then there is like the handle portion of it. Like I can clean this by hand, and that stuff I can clean by hand. This, I was gonna put it in there, but then I thought about it, and there's gas, and I don't want it to get too clean with the plastic. And then like this stuff, I don't want to tear that apart and put it back together, because you gotta. It's not that big of a pain, but it'd be better just for me to just clean it on the outside. So, and then this, you have to take apart the electronics, and then, which isn't a big deal, but again, plastic. I might do this. No, I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna do that just because of the wires and stuff, and there's no real big need, as long as I can get it clean in there, which shouldn't be a problem. Obviously, I'll put the bolts in there, and the piston head, and the other side of the crankcase. I was thinking about doing the handle, but because it's attached, I probably will. And then, of course, like the exhaust, I'll put in stuff like that. And if you go back over here, it's kind of interesting. It's loud. I don't know if I've ever done a video on the supersonic cleaner, but it gets kind of interesting. So if you want to watch, turn down your volume. I'll be back after it's all cleaned up, and then I'll make, like I said, we're not going to do a lot of fixing today, but I'll make it so it's all nice and clean, just so it's part of the process. So I think that's important, especially maintaining your tools. Anyways, thank you for joining me in this process. I'll bring you right back when it's all nice and clean. Now let's get Welcome back to StalltoStart. Now let's get started. So I got everything cleaned for, relatively as much as I could, I guess. They look like they're in the right shit. This one, whoops, bad. So it looks like it was pretty used, and they didn't really put oil in it like they did, but there's other spots that they could have done that where it wouldn't have messed up so much. But it looks pretty clean for, this is a 2014, so it's 10 years old. So I mean, if it's working after 14 years, or 10 years, that's not a bad chainsaw. So I just put the bearings inside the freezer, because metal shrinks, so you can hopefully put them in without too much of a headache. And then I have like the exhaust, the piston, forgot what else was in the sonic cleaner. Now I'm going to try to put the bearings in today, and maybe the seals. Maybe we can put back the crankcase back together, and we can be ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow I will have the piston rings. And if I have the piston rings, then I'm pretty sure I should be able to put it back together like everything should be here. So I got all the gaskets for the head gaskets, the exhausts, the seals, new hardware for the carburetor. So yeah, we're in all right shape. So we're gonna go from here, and yeah, I'm gonna take another break because it's in the freezer, and then the sonic cleaner is gonna go. So there's not much for me to do right now. I like putting this little birthday sheeting on my table when it's time to assemble everything. It makes it all nice and clear, and everything pops out at you, and it's good for entertainment on my YouTube channel. Now, let's get StalltoStart. Now let's get started. So we're still working on the Husqvarna 395xp. I put the bearings in. Camera angles, I wasn't able to video that because you have to heat that up with blowtorch or something. So really hot, my heat gun didn't work, so I really just ended up using a blowtorch, which was still in the shop, which was cool. Anyways, so I got the bearings all in and everything like that. They seem to be all flush, so I'm happy with that. There is a little thing that I got to work on, but anyways, what I was going to talk about was what I'm going to do next on this build is I just got the piston and the exhaust and the cylinder head is all in the supersonic cleaner, and I'm going to get that all tightened up and everything, and then we're going to put the gasket on, and I'm going to try to put this case back together, and then after that I will be right back, I believe, and then we'll see about the seals, and then this is how the video is going to go, I guess. So quick, one more minute and I'll be right back. 1 minute in your part, but an hour and a half for me. I don't know. Welcome back, everybody. Now, we just left where we were trying to put the crankcase back in, and the bearings were all set and everything like that. It was a little touch and go, but it worked out pretty well. I did use the shot press again, and I was just very careful, and that's kind of something that you want to take your time on, because like this part, I don't know exactly which side it was, but one of them, when I was pressing it in, this was on the other side. This was on the other side. So if I kept on pressing it, it would just bend this. And like, you just got to keep on double looking, making sure everything's all square. Go with the dowels. Is that what they are? Well, those are dowels, but I forgot what they were called. But they're inside the crankcase instead of a screw. It's a screw. I don't know what the hell it's called. I don't know, it's just a little piece of metal, and then you put, so everything lines up all well. I might put a typo on the bottom or on the screen, if I can remember what it's called. Anyways, so everything went smoothly. I hit it a few times on the sides with the rubber mallet, trying to get it all even, so now it's able to flow freely. Everything's squared. I don't have it torqued down, which I probably should. So we'll see how we go from there. Maybe I can figure something out on that. I do have but it's a ratchet wrench, and I don't have a ratchet wrench adapter for my Allen keys. I only have like the style, the hand crank ones. Anyways, put some Loctite on there and everything like that. If anybody's wondering and you're just trying to get some little bit more research, I count 1, 2, 3, because there's a screw in there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I count 7 screws. So some people were saying 6. I don't see 6. I see 7, but maybe I'm wrong. It's been known to happen. And yeah, I'm gonna go have some lunch. I think I'm gonna have some steak, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, so we got the seals in. Hopefully they're all good. I'm sitting here looking at it. Now I got second thoughts. Oh my god. Now, let me see. Huh, that's not bad. So you can see, let me see if I got. So you can see right there the chip that I was talking about. Luckily, it's not gonna hit that, so the seals, you know what I mean? So the seal's over here, so it's not too bad of it. And then you saw me, I had to go back, and I had to pop that in. Hopefully I didn't damage it. I don't think I did. Okay, so what's next is I just got to put Whoa, it's got to focus again. I got to put this on that, so give me 1 second. All right, now that we got that out of the way, it was just that bolt and that bolt. And then it sits right on, and then it goes right there. Now we just need to get the... What were we going to put the cylinder head on? No, obviously not. We got to put the piston on first. Piston in, I'm trying to figure out... I could do the cylinder head, but I kind of want to work on the carburetor, because if I do the cylinder head, then I gotta... No, that's alright. I should be able to do that. Yeah. Let's do the cylinder head. Alright. I've got the piston back in, and just some side notes. I mean, I'm not taking the best photography, I guess, but... So the rings, you want to make sure that they're on the correct, either up or down. Sometimes they'll give you, you know, a dot, whether it's up. You just gotta kind of... This one on the 360 or 395 XP looks like... If I just zoom in so you can see... There's a little groove right there. So you want that groove so it matches the shape of the circle or the dot on the other side. So, and then as well as on top of the piston, there's a little arrow. You want that one facing the exhaust. So as long as it's facing the exhaust, and then there's these little clips inside here. My phone does a pretty alright job to quickly focus. I'm pretty impressed with that. That's pretty cool. Anyways, so yeah, there's these little clips in there, and then there's a race inside there that you got to put in, but yeah, no big deal. So you put that all in, and you're ready to rock and roll. I think the next one I'm gonna do is, if I do the cylinder head, then I got to do obviously the head gasket. If I do the head gasket, which is this part right here, then I don't want to have to move it ever again. If I put it there, if I start doing the head gasket, I don't want it to move. So I think I might do the boot on the cylinder head over there, and then I can slowly do that, and then I might have to change some few stuff with my carburetor, and then no big deal though. But yeah, let's do that. So I'll put the cylinder head on ish, and then we'll put in that little is it air intake? We'll go from there. All right. Okay, welcome back. So we got the cylinder head all buttoned up in there. What is there to share? What is there to share? Well, not too much. Everything seemed to be going pretty smoothly. The longer bolts go on the part with the, at least on this chainsaw, goes on the one with the carburetor. The shorter goes on the exhaust side. And just make sure everything's lined up. Your best option is to get one of those piston ring sets. I got the plastic set, you know, just, it's no big deal. It comes with a variety of different ones and everything, so. And then you just line up them and squeeze it, and then slowly put that on. And then I rotated the other side just a little bit, just so it fall in. And yeah, not much of a headache. I did put this on first, and then I put this on to the crankcase. So that the air boot or something, air boot, I don't know. Yeah, that's about it. It's getting late now. Now it's getting kind of late, so I'm gonna put the carburetor. I don't know why I keep forgetting that, because I want to say caliber, and I keep meaning carburetor. And then the air intake boot, and then I'll probably stop from there. Call it a day. I'll be right back, and you'll find out if I continued on or not. Alright. Welcome back to StalltoStart. So we got the focus. We got the carburetor installed. We have the air filter intake, intake, I guess. I don't know. Installed, and then we have the boot, air intake boot. I don't know. We got all the bolts all tightened down. I don't have the torque on there yet, but we'll figure that one out. And then that hose, this piece right there is on the, it's right there. In fact, I had this all put together. I had this all put together relatively quickly. Those threads kind of worried me. Are they supposed to be down more? I'll figure that out. I don't think so. Anyways, so yeah, I had it worried. I'm sitting there like, you know what? I should probably call it a day or whatever. And I'm like, before I screw anything up. And if you see this piece right here that goes all the way over there, inside that, and then all the way into the engine, somewhere, all the way in there, that piece right there. So I looked over, and as soon as I was about to say, all right, I'm done, and I'm like, no, I forgot. And I had that on my table. I had this on my table, and I'm sitting there like, you're not going to forget it. You're not going to forget it. You're not going to, yeah, you're going to forget it. So, oh yeah, speaking of not forgetting stuff, when I was doing projects and learning just in general, I would always put like the bolts and stuff and try to label, hey, this bolt, these two bolts go with this and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work for me, at least. I hate it. I can't stand it. What I do is I'll just take the bolts. So if I want to take this off, remove the bolts, then remove this or whatever, and then put the bolts back into the thread where it came from. And that way you don't lose bolts. And then you remember where they are. Like there's a bolt over here. This one's on my table. I have no idea where it goes to. I forgot where it went. So hopefully I can figure that one out. Anyways, I had a good lunch, but I'm getting kind of hungry now. It was a long day. But I'll be back at it in the morning. And then we'll do hopefully everything. I'm not sure how far we'll be able to go, but we'll see what happens. Alright. It's alright to restart. Just start again. You know what I mean? It's all... I think that's what it is. Computer, restart.
It's alright to recharge. Just start again. Nighty night. Get some good rest.
Copy that. Till next time, my friends. Wait. Again. Future Chris is here, I guess it would be. Future? Yeah. Future Chris. So before you do the muffler, make sure that you have your bolt in for your spring. So if you took out the bolt and then put the bolt back into the spring, and then you put the muffler back on, you're going to have to take off the muffler to take out the spring to put it back in this spring once you put the case back on before you put the muffler on. When I do the editing, I'm going to be so impressed if I actually said that correctly. But you understand what I'm saying? So before you put the case on, if your screw's in there, take it out, and then put it back in when the case is on before you put the muffler on. Because when you put the muffler on, the screw will be covered, and then you'll be SOL. So, there's that for past Chris. It wasn't too bad. Just take off the muffler, you know. I didn't even take off the whole thing. Just take off the two bolts and then slide it forward. It's no big deal. Alright, I'll be right back. Welcome to StalltoStart. Sorry about the little pause and the delay of the video. I did have some technical difficulty while editing this, and I accidentally deleted some clips. I'm so sorry. I've learned my mistake, and hopefully I won't do that again. So, in the next clip where we're at right now, we're going to the oiler. So, that's where we're at. We just put the exhaust on, and now we should be just good to go. And I will continue on doing this little audio overlap as more mistakes arise. And that's just the name of the game, and that's the show. I love you all. I hope you're enjoying the video. Thank you so much. Don't forget about your oiler inlet, I think it's called. And if you put on a new gasket, which I'm assuming there's gonna be, it's gonna, if you push it straight, you might hit your gasket a little bit. So just try to push it to the side. This is why I'm doing this kind of off camera, but And when you put that in, make sure it's flush with the case, and then you can just put the 3 bolts on after you put Loctite on, of course, because Loctite everywhere, especially in, you know, it's gonna vibrate the whole time, so you don't want anything coming out and redoing it all and being a pain. So yep, I'll put that back on and we will go from there. Welcome back. Now what's next? We have the clutch assembly, and we got to put this washer on first, then this, then we're going to put that on, and then we're going to put the rest on. That's how it goes. So everything, first we put the washer on, and then we'll put this on, and then we'll grease everything, and then I already greased this a little bit, but I'll grease the inner race of that, and then put the clutch on. And then we will, son of a gun. We will continue on. Okay, now that we got that all greased up and everything seems to be fitting well in there, it's going to engage when the chainsaw starts. So we're going to put the clutch assembly on. I might be able to do that by camera. There's some writings on this, so I'm just going to have it this way. I don't know if you can even have it on this way. I guess you can, but I'm going to go with the words up. And then there's some rivets on the top here, and it matches the inner race inside of that. So as long as that's flush, you'll be good to go. Put that on, just like that. And then with your clutch assembly, it goes the opposite way. So to tighten it, you gotta turn it left. That's it. Whoops. No, it's not. It's backwards. Sorry. Alright. This is why I try to do this off camera so I don't have to take up too much time off of it. But yeah, there you go. Now, I think I'm going to do the handle behind that, so I'm probably going to start that. And if not, I'll show you when we come right back. Now let's get tighten that down because I still have the other side I have to put together, and like I was telling you about the strip threads that we're going to try to fix later. And then I did put the shield on. I didn't put it on video because it's literally just that screw. And as far as your handle goes for the chainsaw, I just make sure that whatever you took off, put back on. Pay attention to this part, because you're going to have to thread that back in so it goes into the carburetor, because I forgot what side. Yeah, it goes on the top. And I'm not sure if it's better to try to thread in that. No, it's not. Never mind. I was going to talk about the throttle cable, but that's part of the throttle cable, so we obviously have to put this on, so it's mute to say it. You know how that goes. Anyways, so yeah, this one's going to be, I don't know, I'm expecting it to be kind of a pain, but we'll see how it goes. I'll be right back. Welcome back to StalltoStart. Now, let's see where we're at. We got the exhaust back on. We have the throttles working. Come on, focus. Throttle is working. It does stick. Like I can make it stick, I think. Or not. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe that fixed it. Oh, it was sticking earlier and I was going to replace it, but if it's not sticking now. I feel like it's pulling onto the tension because I thought it was sticking so much. So here's the, is that it? Is that the, I think that's the spring. So that's the spring. And then that's, yeah, that's the cable right here. So it was like getting, it's really hard to see this on the camera. So I thought it was, oh yeah, no, that's the plastic piece that I thought it was sticking to. So the spring's underneath it. And then as you move forward, let me see if I can do this. As you move forward, you see that kind of, oh, camera angle, no, right there. Okay, see that in the very, very corner? That's the spring, and it was, you can see how it looks like it's melted, that plastic piece right there. It looks like it's melted. It's not melted, it was used so many times, it's just wearing down. And as I was pulling onto it, the spring would latch onto it and then hold hold the throttle, will hold the lever down. But when I just finished installing the cable, and it hasn't been doing that now. It won't stick now. So that's cool. Maybe I don't have to get one now. Okay, so that's all done. So the throttle over here too, throttle cable. It goes, like I said, it goes, wraps around, so it's there, and then wraps down, and then goes underneath it. Having the spring bolts not screwed in really, it did help, because I've done that before on this one too, where I changed the cable and that was still bolted down and it was kind of a pain. Okay, so that's all set. You could pop these, like I said, you could pop these out. They're not that difficult. Put it back in. Not difficult at all. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, simple stuff. We got the choke lever, so you just attach that through the body, through the carburetor, and then you got the oil, which is obviously just pinch that and then put it in the oil container, put these back on, and then tighten this onto the decompression valve. Okay, and I'll be right back. It's starting to look like a chainsaw, right? Welcome to StalltoStart. Now let's get started. Now we left off, we didn't put on this piece right over here. Oops, that's a magnet. So we got that all tightened up on there. It's only one screw. So it just goes like that, and then it sits flush with the case. And then, ooh, I found my other screw. That was pretty cool. Oh my god, this magnet. I found that other screw. That was cool. And then the other screw. So we have all the screws, and we're not missing any. I will be right back. Welcome back to StalltoStart. Now we got everything back on as far as trying to do a compression test. So I got the flywheel and the clutch assembly all torqued down to the right specifications. I have the throttle cable all set, so everything's all good. The compression valve is torqued, and my friend is here. We're just chilling and we're working on this at the same time, and he's forcing me to do a compression test. So I will let you see what that is after. We will be right back. Welcome back to StalltoStart. Now let's get started. Now for you, this was only a second, but for me, this was last night. So what happened with the compression test was it failed miserably. It was at 30. It needs to be at 150 at minimum. And my friend and I obviously were like, what the hell? That doesn't make, like, what? Like, how could I have messed up so horribly where I got no compression again? So I'm sitting there thinking, and we're like, oh, something. I'm like, the only way that would happen is a hole in the engine. I'm trying to talk fast because this is going to be a rant. So it ended up taking, as I'm sitting there laying in bed, thinking about the process of everything, trying to relax, obviously. And, you know, me so far, you know, I need to get things done and it doesn't go away. I'm like, okay, the only thing that I could possibly think is the compression test, the actual compression test. So I'm like, okay, how can I test that? And we tried to do it last night, but the air compressor adapters didn't correspond with the tester, so I had to change everything, and I didn't want to do all that in the middle of the night. And it's kind of one of those things where when you're at that point, you just call it a night and just get some sleep. There's been times where I've fixed an entire car because I got some rest and you had an idea and it worked. But anyways, that's irrelevant to the story. Well, relevant to the story. I digress. That's what I meant to say. Anyways, so I put it in the brand new steel that I just got this year, and lo and behold, it has 30 psi. So it has to be the compression test. That has to be junk or something because it's not working. So I'm thinking that mine's fine, and something, you know, it's just not working as far, you know, it's not reading it well. It has an air leak somewhere. I tried to use washers, didn't work. Tried to do other things, still didn't work. Trying to change gauges, didn't work. So we're just going to keep on at it, and obviously we're not going to tear anything apart. So right now, what we're going to do right now is just put this back on, the cover plate, because I wanted to show you guys that. And I did get, that was kind of cross-threaded a little bit, and I was able to use the tap and die and get that nut back on and torque it to the right specifications, so that was good. And yeah, now I just got to get the timing. I got to get the timing right, so I got to put this on, the ignition timing thing, and then I think that has to be 3 millimeters. between each other or something like that. So, and it reads it somehow like that or something. Oops, sorry. You get it. Something like that, I think. Wherever the match goes. Alright, I'll be right back. Welcome back to StalltoStart. Now let's get started. So where do we end up? So we got the shroud on there. I was able to time it. I mean, I don't know exactly. Hopefully I did. I put it on top dead center, and then I used one of these 3 rusty millimeter ones. It's not important, but yeah, I used a 3 millimeter. Well, it's important, but it's not important for you to see the thing, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I just wanted to show you. I put the handle on. There's 2 bolts on the bottom and 3 on the side. And then I routed the... Whoops, I'm sorry. I forgot. I did put this on. But that one's just, it's the kill switch, or it's the kill switch for the ignition. So it goes down there, and then it wraps down around here. Focus. Sorry about that. And then it goes down there, and then it hits that, so it stops it when you want it to stop. And then I put the cover on, obviously. And let's see what's next. So we're going to turn this thing around. And we're going to put the cover on the clutch plate, but first we got to put on the chain and the bar and the chain. Then we're going to put the air filter on and the spark plug. And we'll get the spark plug. And I will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. So what we got going on? So everything's put back together. We don't have the gas and the oil. And that's what I was going to talk about. Is when I was doing it, it was kind of confusing. Figure out the oil, because you mix the gas. So right there is a 2.5 gallon tank. And then this is, container for 2.5 gallons. So you just fill that up, and then you need 1 bottle of that, and then that solves your mystery. You don't have to, that's the mix of mine. Alright, so, and then for this, where am I at now? I do have to replace inside of here, where it grabs, it's broken. I forgot to show you that. And then the 2 bolts on the exhaust. Where's these? Oh, the 2 bolts, one on the bottom left and one on the top right. Other than that, we should be good to go. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was gonna say is, so inside here, I don't have my flashlight. I took all the tools away. So there's the idler screw, the high and low. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all of them, the 2 bottom ones. I'm gonna take them all down and then to the clockwise. And then I'm going to take them, because these ones, they don't go out a turn and a half. These ones are only maxed by half a turn. So that's as far as you got. So I'm going to take mine and pull it to the counterclockwise, max it all out clockwise, and then I'm going to take it out counterclockwise by like an eighth of a turn. So just not too much, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the left and to the right. And as far as the top one goes, I'm going to do the same kind of concept. I'm just going to, but that one you can take out a lot more than the other 2 on the bottom. So I'm going to take the top one, and then I'm going to tighten that all the way clockwise until it stops. And then I'm going to go back counterclockwise, maybe a turn. I'm going to say a turn. I'm going to go from there and see how it goes. And then I'll let you guys, I'm sorry I don't have a flashlight and make it look better, but it's not the winning lotto numbers. Alright, so I will be right back when we try to start this bad boy, and then we will go from there. Let's see what happens, I guess. Whew, I'm nervous. Especially with the camera there and everything. Me usually be known to mess things up. I'm just gonna pull it a little bit. Get some, get the fluids and everything moving. Does it sound good? Well, it's broken. Son of a gun. I'm gonna putter. Let's Disappointing. That was a blooper. Son of a gun. Let me take a look and we'll figure out, see what happens. Gun. The most frustrating part. What does that do? Not good. Not good at all. Welcome back to StalltoStart. Now, as you know, we were having trouble starting it. I was still going in my head thinking what it could be, and the only thing I could come up with really is the fuel lines. I'm double checking all those to make sure I got that correctly. I did change that gold one. Let me focus real quick. That gold one right here, I was concerned about that earlier and I forgot to look into that. So it's supposed to go underneath the chainsaw, underneath it, and then it goes into the gas tank. I know it's not going to focus because it's focusing on the, there it is. So it's on this side and then it goes into this port. This port right here goes up, and then it's this line right here, and then there's a little grommet. Let me focus again. It's this line right here. It goes in that grommet, and then it will go on the bottom of the carburetor. And then the top one goes through this plastic casing, and then it will go inside the engine, underneath all that fun stuff. From my understanding, this, which I just changed, so we'll see if that helps, is the vent for the gasoline, and I didn't have that connected. I mean, there was nothing there, so I don't understand what the difference is, but if it's from the factory, I'm going to set it up that way, I guess. So I'll put this all back together and see, because when I was trying to pull it to start, I didn't feel any gas or anything, so maybe it was just backed up with air or something. I'm not too sure. Maybe I flooded it, but we didn't even hear anything, as you know. But we'll get back at it without trying to get too frustrated on it. You know, the channel's all about StalltoStart, so be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. I will be right back. Come on! So listen, I need you to focus. I need you to work for me, because we have a job to do, and we can't do that without you doing your job. So you need to get your shit in order, aka your fuel and air ratio, and fucking do your job. So we can go over there, cut the cherry tree wood, make some freaking cool ass shit. But we can't do that without you. So focus! Oh, what's up, neighbor? That's what I'm talking about. That's StalltoStart for you. What? Yeah. Oh, that sounds so fucking good. I'm the fucking shit. Woo! back to StalltoStart. What an adventure, what an adventure. You can see the ups and downs on this channel and how it can go either way, and you don't know exactly what's going to happen and what to do and what to expect, and I love that about life. I mean, I hate it, but I love it. It is so thrilling, and then you can see my emotions as the time and the video goes on. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope somebody benefit from this video if anybody needs any repairs done on this specific chainsaw, and if it helps them, I think that would be pretty cool. So yeah, like I said, just be patient, enjoy the process. If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment. I don't really get comments, so I don't know if I'll do well at responding to them, but only time will tell. So, like I said, it's all the journey. It's all a journey. But don't let anybody tell you can't do something. You know what I mean? So other than that, let's get started.